Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and welcome to another episode of Living World of Darkness, Rage Across New York. In tonight's scene, we are setting it affront the Cub cabins, in the general vicinity of, Olaf's place, the two cabins that have been completely overtaken by Cubs, and the suspicious, very suspicious rock affront Olaf's cabin, that at least by his calculations has been moving slowly ever closer. But to judge by the amount of stuff that is on and around it, one must imagine that such a feat would be quite difficult, as something would get toppled over or left behind. Clearly, he's going mad. I believe that at last remark, we'll have Garrett in residence at his homey rock. Rock Sweet Rock. And with Chino doing a run by, we shall begin.
Garrett is sitting at the rock. In one hand is a lit cigarette, like always, and the other hand is his phone that he's intently looking upon, occasionally tapping away at it.
In the name of preserving us from dead air, I will have Maeve, not necessarily entering per se, but perhaps betrayed by a bit of a rustle. Not too far off. There's plenty of wooded area around the cabins. So, like as not, one of the trees is given a bit of a rustle. A little hefty to be a squirrel or something jumping around, never mind that it's the middle of the night and they're not especially nocturnal.
Garrett will slowly turn his head to the disturbance, half expecting Cinna to be there because she's screwed up 2 attempts to sneak up on him.
And I'll say at that distance, because she's still keeping a bit of a barrier between herself and everyone else, want a P&E to see if you can actually make her out.
P&E?
Or not P&E, god damn it. Perception alertness.
P&A?
That thing. That other thing that you do with perception. Oh, shit.
It's just 4.
Then yeah, probably. Even in the dark. And even with her swaddled in this outrageously oversized trench coat, he'll make out, at the very least, her hair when she goes through little patches of lamplight. And to every appearance, Maeve has decided to climb a tree.
Like she's actively climbing a tree?
Yep, that's the rustling, is that she decided this was a good tree and started working her way up it. It's probably something like a magnolia that are obscenely easy to climb. And yeah, she's just clambering her ass up a tree for some reason.
Garrett will give a whistle, like a... I can't really do it, but you know what
Yeah, I got the idea. I appreciate you not doing it full volume over a microphone. Yeah. Yes, it is nighttime. So she'll kind of pause and glance over, but contrary to her normal behavior, does not immediately leap out of the tree and come barreling over.
Garrett will see that she pauses and will just kind of like shrug his shoulders and do like the what's up thing, like what are you doing?
She'll wrinkle her nose. It's probably hard to see at that distance. And hem and haw, and let's see how she do. No, she's okay, I guess. She actually takes a good long moment looking up the tree, glancing back down at the ground. That's probably not very far away. And after some real internal struggle, she'll finally hop down back onto the dirt. and start heading his way. He will realize that once she's out where she's more visible, that she looks quite the part of the douchebag. She has her sunglasses at night.
And
She,
an
in fact, has
oversized trench
Lucas's
coat.
sunglasses at night.
And an oversized trench coat, correct?
And an outrageously oversized, like, this is the one that Nick used to wear when he was, running around normal Metis style, so it's big enough for him in Krynos. It looks like it's trying to eat her.
At about this time, you hear fairly loud, drunken singing in Spanish walking from the direction of the Cub cabins. You can see a bald silhouette, kind of half walking, half stumbling towards the trees. It stops at the tree that Maeve was in, but she's no longer in, and you hear the familiar sound of a zipper and then something hitting the tree.
On the bright side,
as he leans against the tree.
On the bright side, this incentivizes her to pick up her pace a little. She kind of scampers a couple steps to get well and away from Chino deciding to piss on her climbing tree.
When she gets closer to Garrett, he'll look at her and say, "Why do you look like you're about to expose yourself to school children?"
She kind of pauses. You imagine she's probably blinking a couple times. Wriggles her nose. Ew!
As opposed to Chino, who is exposing himself.
Oh, yeah. She'll kind of glance back over her shoulder. She's actually going to be doing that a good bit until Chino gets around in front of her, notably trying to keep track of where he is.
Chino kind of turns at the sound of his voice. You can see his whole body turns, so he stops peeing on the tree as he pees on the ground, pees on the bush.
Oh my god. Maeve stops looking.
And then looks. What? School children? This tree at least 18, yo. Turns back around and finishes pissing on the tree.
Ay. So yeah, what's up with the get-up?
She'll kind of look down. Nicholas thought I looked cold.
Yeah, I thought that was the point of your whole ban.
They said I can't seek shelter, but he didn't say I had to shed clothing. I can wear warm clothes, I can even use a blanket, but I can't go into shelter, and I can't use fire or heating things to warm myself that would also melt the snow.
Okay. And the sunglasses? This is the first time I've ever seen you wear sunglasses.
She kind of pokes them up under her nose. And purses her lips. If I said it was a security blanket, would you not laugh?
I'm not laughing right now.
Takes another glance back to keep track of Chino. After all, the peeing sounds have stopped.
Chino finishes peeing on the tree. It takes him a good couple of minutes to realize that he's stopped pissing. Then he pushes himself off the tree and zips up and turns around. Who's the flasher? As he can't see in the dark and really doesn't recognize Maeve.
It's your fellow cub.
Albert?
She puts on the frowniest little pouty face.
Albert, I told you not to do that no more, yo.
Garrett pinches the bridge of his nose, and with the other hand bids Chino to come over with a wave of the hand.
He kind of stumbles over.
And as he does, Mabel skirt a little bit so that he's walking in front of her.
Kind of cocks his head a little bit. Snow White? Why you look like Chester the Molester, yo?
Garrett points to Chino. I told you.
Nicholas thought I looked cold and gave me his coat.
And you thought something Nicholas came up with was a good idea?
Leather's warm. Even if it's ratty patched leather. She kind of looks down at it. It's a pretty frayed bit of clothing, but you know what? Fuck it. It's still in one piece, and it doesn't smell that bad. Especially not since she's gotten a hold of it.
He shrugs and starts to sit down on the rock, and then promptly misses the rock and sits down heavily on the ground. Rifles through some of the deep pockets on his jeans and pulls out a Lone Star beer. Looks at it, kind of gestures towards Garrett with it, not even attempting with Maeve.
Garrett waves his hand, and then he holds up a jar of moonshine.
He shrugs, pops the beer, and it goes all over the place as he just fell on it. He makes a face, takes a drink, looks up at Maeve. Snow White, you look, I would say you look skittish, but that usual for you. So I say you look more skittish.
Yes, as a point of note, because I imagine that even drunk as shit, Chino would pick up, the whole point is that she's been doing her best to keep both where she can see them the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Doot. 4. Peony.
She's not doing well. She's obviously very jumpy. With a 4, he'll notice that she periodically is kind of twitching glances this way or that way. And it's not like she's twitching at nothing. It's usually when, some random thing bounces around in the leaves, one of the rabbits maybe, and she has to look. Has to. You'll probably also notice that, again, rather than running up or getting very close to the pair of them, she's hovering with a little more personal space than usual. And she just kind of has her hands in her pockets.
Want to have a seat?
And she'll glance at either of them, scoot just a little bit closer, still far more than she normally even stands, and will kind of sweep the ridiculously long coat under her and settle on the ground.
You can sit with your back against the rock if you want. Swap places with me.
And she kind of bites at her lower lip, but finally just sheepishly nods. And she'll start scrambling back up.
Garrett will stand up and motion for her to take his spot.
Yep, she will sidle over. Again, she'll probably wait for him to move a certain distance before she sidles in, but settles in with her back firmly against the rock. And probably visibly relaxes just the tiniest bit.
Chino brings his legs up and kind of rests his elbows on his legs, sitting on the ground, and he kind of fixes Maeve with a look and all this. Snow White, your parents show up with your husband or something?
What?
I
No.
don't know. You acting all nervous, like somebody gonna beat your ass or something. I just figured.
No. My parents wouldn't do that anyways.
He kind of fixes you and kind of turns his head leans it to the other side. Nicholas try to come on to you or something?
No.
Okay, then I don't know why don't you just tell us what the fuck is going on?
I'm
just a little twitchy. It's okay.
Garrett has been watching her pretty intently this entire time. Does that have anything to do with what happened to you yesterday?
Yeah.
He nods.
What happened to you yesterday?
Have you ever seen someone get caught when they're trying to step sideways?
Nope.
Well, I have, and it's bad. And Talia still doesn't like stepping across the gauntlet, and now I know why.
So you try to step across and you get caught?
No, we were fighting things of the Weaver, and one of them bound me up or did something. I couldn't move, I couldn't talk, I couldn't see, I couldn't hear, and it felt like it stretched forever. It was bad.
Heard you were cured.
Well, I'm not Weaver tainted anymore. And I'm not frozen anymore.
But you feel uneasy.
Yeah. I was there so long that instead of hearing silence, I think I was hearing singing. It was really unnerving. And I couldn't tell what was going on, but I felt like I was being grabbed at some point in all of it.
You
And
feel unsafe right now?
And she kind of glances back at the rock. A little better. I don't feel like someone's behind me anymore. But no, I don't know. I went and spent some time with Lucas afterwards, after I got cleansed, and he realized I was back. And I don't know. I couldn't let him touch me. And she looks at Chino immediately with a withering sort of look, with the glasses down far enough that he can see it readily.
He's just kind of looking at her at this point. You can see him occasionally making faces, but you're not sure if it's not getting through the alcohol or if he's just letting you talk.
But yeah, it was bad. And I don't know. I don't know how to find comfort if I can't touch people.
Huh.
But it sets up my hackles.
And Garrett will extend a hand out, open, palm up. Just extend it out, not like trying to touch her, but just extending it out to her.
I'm assuming he's far enough that even if he kind of leaned in and tried, he wouldn't be able to touch her
Right.
without
Yeah.
her reaching the rest of the distance.
But it's definitely a motion towards her.
And she'll kind of look at it. Thankfully, she doesn't twitch or anything because, as confirmed, it is not close enough for him to, like, reach out and poke her or lay a hand on her. But she definitely immediately turns her attention to the hand because it's the closest thing, and then just kind of pulls up her legs and wraps her arms around him.
And he'll slowly draw back the hand. And he'll nod. Okay, okay.
Did you ever play that game when you were a kid? You know, when you got sent to bed, and you'd be there in your dark room and you were convinced there was some sort of boogeyman in your room, so you could hide under your covers and it couldn't see you?
And you run and you jump on top of the bed so nothing underneath the bed could grab your legs.
Mm-hmm. It's like that, but I don't have covers to hide under.
Well, you do know you're safe right now, right?
I know. I know that nothing can get here without setting off the wards. I know that there's nothing to be afraid of in the park. But I still feel like there's always something watching me.
Chino, of course, involuntarily, because he's half lit, starts looking around, and then realizes she means metaphorically and kind of shakes his head.
Garrett will look to Chino. We hadn't really gotten a chance to talk, man.
He kind of looks at Garrett again. I see you once. Last time I see you, you're laying on the ground holding your face, and she's standing over you.
Yeah, that happened.
Maeve's gonna hide her grin behind her knees.
I need to watch out for her touching me, you know.
I agree.
Yeah, I almost talked to Nicholas earlier.
She got cooties, yo.
She said that you would be willing to follow her if she was a leader.
She was told by the Den Mother that she gonna lead.
Yeah.
So I told her, if she gonna lead, she better fucking lead.
What you think about that?
He shrugs. What you mean what I think about that? Den Mother say she lead, she lead. What did I think about?
Oh, lots of things. You think she's capable?
That don't. What the fuck that matter? Den Mother say she lead, she lead.
You think she wants to lead?
That up to her. That not up to Chino.
Okay. What I gather is you follow orders. That's to be admired. We need people like that.
He kind of grins, kind of half of his face raising up. I play the game, yo. You gotta do what you gotta do. One day my time come to lead, I lead. Right now, I cub. I follow orders. I soldier. I soldier.
Okay. All right.
It's simple. Where I grew up, you start as a soldier. Right now, I a soldier. I go home, I'm a leader. 6 of one, half a dozen of another.
So a king among men.
Don't call me a fucking king, I'll rip your head off, fucker.
And you know
And
what?
he is deadpan when he says it.
That a rival gang.
You find out, yo.
Well, clearly I touched a nerve.
You not touch a nerve. I just tell the truth. I lived too long with that. He pulls out a flask and pours a little bit of something into his beer and then takes another drink. Rubs the bridge of his nose and his eyes.
Is that the stuff with the worm in it?
She?
Ugh.
That's a 3 success P&E on Chino.
You want something? What are you looking for? Like, at what point did you do that?
After I called him a king and he got really angry.
Oh, his hackles went up. He was not pleased with being called a king.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah.
And at the offer, Maeve shakes her head rapidly. It's not as bad as Garrett's stuff, but still bad.
I tell you. He kind of looks, and you can see he's trying to look at your cleavage. You got some hairs yet?
No!
Then you hadn't drunk enough, yo.
That's gross. Why would I want that? That
Why
is
that
not my
gross?
life goal.
Somebody somewhere gonna go, oh, that's the girl I like. She got the hair on her chest.
Well, that's good for him.
Or her.
Blink.
He kind of grins.
And Garrett will offer the jar that he has in his hand to Chino. Say, here, you want to swig into this? No hard feelings for offending you.
Maeve pulls a face.
He grins, and he'll reach up and grab it and sniff at it.
You watch that stuff, Chino. It's a lot rougher than anything you've given me.
He grins and shakes his head. Ain't no worse than bathtub hooch.
It might be.
Or toilet wine from the joint.
Oh,
Hey, you gotta make do, girl.
you could just not drink.
He kind of looks at her like he has no idea what the fuck she's talking about.
Ugh. She like visibly shudders at the idea that he's gonna drink that shit, and would look away, but can't.
He takes a second, sniffs at it, kind of furrows his brow a little bit, takes a little bit of it and pours it into his flask and shakes it around and then takes a shot.
Oh, so he diluted it with his flask?
Yeah, well, he diluted it with tequila.
Oh, okay. Yeah, go ahead and make a stamina roll, I guess standard difficulty since you watered it down.
Oh, yeah.
You bossed it. You're good. It's a little rough around the edges, but you smoothed it out with some tequila.
Yeah. Yeah, his tequila is the kind that comes in the plastic bottle, so you know.
Believe me, it still smoothens out this crap.
Oh my god. Got a little extra burn as it goes down.
Yeah.
It probably don't taste too good, no.
He kind of shakes him and woo! Ah, that make you feel like you're alive, yo.
Yeah. Every batch is a new adventure.
He grins and looks at Snow White and hands the jar towards her.
She shakes her head vigorously.
Garrett will intercept the jar.
Why don't you want me to slap the jar out of his hand?
I know. Chino looks at Garrett, kind of raises a hand and looks at Maeve again.
Do you have any idea what that stuff did to me the last time I drank it?
He's just staring at you with the jar extended. He's giving you the look.
Oh, you're not gonna stop until I do it again, aren't you?
Chino, she don't want none, and she's a little on edge right now.
Like, that stuff almost made me throw up. And not like a couple hours later because I was drunk throw up, but like right then throw up. I threw his last batch in the snow.
Chino turns his head to the side. Kind of narrows his eyes a little bit. Anybody that wants to peony him, they're welcome.
I do.
I got one. Wow. That's the most mediocre roll I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Wow, I only got 2.
Chino's poker face gives Garrett the finger.
Okay, well he can P&E Garrett if he wants.
Oh no. Chino doesn't get eat people.
Do I get anything with 2? Anything
He,
at all?
I don't know, you kind of see disappointment.
Oh,
Just a
no.
little bit.
It's
Just
the
a little
pain
bit.
of her existence. Ugh. Oh, no. She
And
will
Chino,
finally, very slowly, very sadly reach out for the jar.
and as she reaches out, Chino will like shake his head and say, "Nah, it's okay," and he'll hand it to Garrett.
Thank you, Chino.
And Garrett will take it back. He's got a serious look on his face, though, looking at Chino.
Chino goes over and he'll resume his seat, take another sip of his beer, and look at Maeve. So,
What?
he asked me a question, but you're the one that need to answer it.
Look, I was worried about it before, but now I'm more worried. If I'm still this twitchy when we go in, I'd rather disobey Miss Whisper than kill somebody.
Well, from what I hear, we hit the ground. We're gonna think like wolves, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. We'll still know each other as far as we do. If we've spent time together and bonded, we'll still remember that we know each other and we're close, but we'll still be wolves.
So we hit the ground. We gonna be wolves. Our brain gonna think like a wolf. So you think it gonna matter who we say in charge here?
That was kind of most of my worry. You can tell me I have to lead, but at least according to Talia, Senna, Lucas, most people don't trust me to do it. And if they honestly don't, then when we hit the ground there, no amount of saying I'm supposed to be the boss is going to make a difference. I asked a lot of people, and I think Garrett has it right. If I have any role as a wolf without being a theurge, without being able to speak to the spirits, it's going to be acting as the heart of the pack and looking out for my pack mates. If someone else wants to lead, as long as where they're leading us keeps everyone alive, I don't care.
And Chino, just because she ain't leading, doesn't mean you can't protect her.
Chino kind of looks at Garrett and looks back at Maeve. That look of disappointment is a lot more evident now. I thought we'd go over this already.
If you still believe I can,
It
even
don't
with all
fucking matter
this.
what I believe, Maeve. It matter what you believe. I ain't the one who gotta fucking do it. You do it. You gotta have to do it.
I can
I
lead
ain't the
all
one.
day, but if nobody follows, I'm not leading.
Motherfucker, if you leave, they follow. But you show hesitation as a wolf, and you be on your back. So motherfucker, you lead, you lead. Motherfucker, you don't, you don't. The only person that make that decision is me.
He's right, Maeve. And I think you already know the answer.
And she'll finally shoot a glance towards Garrett. I overthink things sometimes here when I have the time and the luxury to do it. But I proved yesterday, when something needs to happen, I don't hesitate to do what I need to do.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't the strongest. I wasn't the best. I'm not even sure I actually hurt anything. I fought better. I landed strikes. I just didn't have the strength to do much with them. I enabled the Fosterns to fight better by hearing the thing that they were fighting. I did my part. I'm not worried about hesitating. I'm just worried that there will be infighting instead of someone just taking the lead and the rest taking it as a matter of course. I mean, I guess I'm jumpy enough now to hold it, at least for a little bit, until someone really wants to push it. I'm not strong, but if someone comes on me, I can't guarantee I'm not going to bite them. Not right now. I almost sucked Nicholas earlier, and he was just trying to help me with my sparring. Well, punching one of the dummies. I mean, I have doubts now, but when we get there, if jumping into the lead seems like the best way to keep everyone alive, then I'm going to do it. If someone else takes the lead and it makes sense, and I can still keep an eye on the rest, I'll do it.
Just never feel like you have to. Because of other things or what other people say.
Look, I think Silver Mist reasons are as bad as you do. But it's what it takes to keep us alive. So, I'll try. And she'll kind of glance over at Chino and say, I'll do it. But if time comes that I make a wrong call and someone else pushes to the front, I'm not going to hold it against them.
What do you think, Chino? You hear conviction in that?
She frowns.
Chino takes another sip of his beer. He fixes me with a look. That kind of under his eyebrows look.
She's looking at least a little bit more resolute, if only because she's being challenged on it. That and with the added bonus of being on edge, she has I don't know, a little more intensity about her. It's still Maeve, but
Chino stands. Comes to his feet. He stretches a little bit. Stretches to one side. Stretches to the other. Takes another sip of his beer. Cracks his knuckles. Okay. We're going to get you some confidence.
Link.
He stands up, or he kind of shrugs a little bit. It's New York. It's night. It's freaking cold. He strips his jacket off, strips his shirt off. Let's go. Come on, Snow White. Stand up.
She doesn't have hackles, but if she did, she will notably fill out the jacket a little bit more as she makes a shift to Glabro in protest. I don't know if it's a good idea, Chino.
He looks at her. Kind of purses his lips. That's a good start.
She's going to have the sense to take off the sunglasses and slip them into one of the pockets of the trench.
Chino picks up some of the snow that's on the ground and starts rubbing it on his knuckles.
That gets a bit of a head tilt. But she is going to get to her feet, if only so she doesn't get jumped by surprise. She's too twitchy to just stay there and hope. And let's just, for funsies, I guess roll a quick intelligence to see if she can figure out why he's doing it. See if she can catch on. I'm assuming it's to numb his knuckles.
Oh, yeah.
Chino, this is a bad idea.
Could you tell me why?
You'd probably just think it was all the more reason to do it. I'm on edge. I really... Punching counts as being touched, Chino.
Could you tell me why? Could you tell me why I can't beat you fucking unconscious right now? Could you tell me why, mate?
And Garrett will stand up at that.
I'm going to assume you have a soul. What point does it prove to beat me? She is actually shifting into a more of a ready position. Again, it's not necessarily her normal tack, but... And she has retained a position that will keep both within her line of sight, by the by.
He kind of rolls a shoulder, pounds a fist into his other hand to test it. Could you tell me why? You're gonna lead. You tell me why.
She's kind of drawing a blank, let's be honest. She just stares at him intently, not necessarily disbelieving, because she believes it. But now it's her turn to look a little disappointed.
He looks at her. Looks at Garrett. Looks back to her.
She shrugs off the trench.
You getting ready?
Stand down, Chino. It's not tentative, it's just matter of fact. It doesn't have a lot of force behind it, but...
You see, if anyone peonies him.
Always peony. Always. 5?
There was a little interest in that, in what you said. And he'll narrow his eyes and take a step towards you. What you say to me?
And instead of backpedaling, as would be her normal route, she's a little bit bigger right now. She's feeling a little more confident. And she squares up a bit in preparation. I said back off, Chino. And Oh yeah, she's getting angry.
Chino stops, brings one hand up and kind of rubs his jaw. I'm not sure I hear you. What you say again? He takes another step towards her.
And this time she actually bares her teeth, which still works as a gesture in Glabro. There's still some prominent canines there. And more sharply, we'll say, I said back up, Chino. Is he getting into kicking range?
If you wanted him to be in kicking range, you can be. I was thinking he was a little bit further away than that.
Yeah,
Away.
I'll give him more time than that. I imagine they started at a good distance just because of how she's been acting.
Mm-hmm.
Just let me know when he gets there.
Chino grins, he stomps. He does that familiar crossing his arms over his chest pose. Gives her a hard look. So how hard was that?
And since he did step closer, okay, she doesn't get even more worked up. Yay!
Garrett will touch Maeve's shoulder.
Oh God, why would you do that? Why would you do that? She whirls around and tries to punch him right in his fucking face. And let me double check my shit here so I'm not cheating. No dex bonus in Glabro. For shame. Oh, come on. He caught her jumpy. A swing and a miss, but she definitely makes a good hard hook in his direction.
And Garrett will put both hands up and step back.
And, considering that happened, I need to double check my difficulty, but I'm pretty sure at a new moon it's still... Pretty sure with an 8 you still get it, so... Yep. She visibly has her hackles up and has gotten into a little bit more of a combat stance. He's definitely succeeded in putting her completely on edge. She will actually back up to the point where she again has both in her line of vision.
And he's got both hands up still with a little, just very slight smirk.
Not funny, Garrett.
No, it's not.
And so now she's essentially trying to stare down both of them at once. It's not a thing that actually works mechanically, but...
He looks to Chino. I know what you were trying to do. Might have worked.
Chino kind of shrugs.
It might have worked. But I just disarmed her.
And with a moment of thought, she'll reach down into the snow, start packing a ball.
Chino kind of looks at her.
Looks back at Maeve.
She's going to pitch it at Garrett.
I got a 3 success dodge.
Damn you. She'll shrug.
It sails by his head.
She'll do it again. She looks a little focused. This looks like she's got a notion in her head.
As she's packing another one, Garrett will take a step forward to her.
How close?
Just a step.
How close does this place him? I'm not sure what kind of distance we're
I'm
working
not
with.
sure how far she moved away from him.
I'm assuming it'll take more than one step to get in her range.
Okay.
Yeah, point blank.
Oh,
Can I lower the difficulty by 1?
Sure.
Damn it!
Oh,
my
you
life.
hit him though.
And I spend a point of rage. While he is got a face full of snow. And I'm gonna jump. So using the rage action to smack you across the head.
No, you're punching me?
Oh yeah, she's gonna
Okay.
whip up super fast, hopefully while he's still got the snow in his face, and look to give him a good proper knock.
Sure.
And... Two points of bashing. Ah.
Soaked.
Still. He takes it like a boss, but she still gets all up in his fucking shit and gives him a good knock.
Okay. I guess the snow will fall away as she
Mm-hmm.
swipes at his face with a fist.
Oh yeah. I just wanted the advantage. I wanted my ambush.
And
My
he will
surprise
roll.
round.
He will roll just to grab your wrist. I don't know what kind of roll that is. I'm assuming just a dex brawl.
yeah, it's a grapple, so it's a dex brawl.
Okay.
Is it a higher difficulty or?
It's basically, if he's going for the wrist, that would be a called shot. It's a +2 difficulty.
+2. Okay. -1 because I'm a guardian.
Yay!
Are you protecting the Sept?
I don't think that matters.
Yeah, I know it doesn't. You should.
1.
Well, you're able to grab her. Now it's a strength, contested strength to see if you can hold it.
I just wanted to touch her.
Oh. I'm... Don't you get 1 point for looking at a new moon still?
I think you get 1 point just for looking at the moon.
Yeah.
Well, then she is going to take a sharp glance skyward and spend the rage point.
Does she have a clear conscience?
Huh?
Being touched? Does she have the clear state of mind to like think, or is she in a pure reactive mode from you?
You're probably right. I'll
Okay.
take that. Let's see how well this roll goes. I'm going to aim for Hispo. I need to look at my difficulty, which is 7. Well, that's... Actually, yeah, that's 2 steps, right?
Yeah.
I have no idea how it works, but I assume success is
If
a
you're in
step in the right direction.
Glabro, 2 steps is Hispo, and I think the difficulty for Hispo is 7, so...
Very fucking well. He grabbed her.
Did she just go to
Suddenly
Hispo in the regular world?
It's
They're in a
veil protected.
veil-protected area.
And the high band's not in effect anymore.
That's right. Okay. All right.
So yeah, she suddenly becomes a lot harder to hold on to. And she makes what a wolf might call a not happy face. There will be all the teeth. And a bit of gum, even.
Hey guys, I gotta be right back. Can we hold up right?
Yep.
Okay.
Sure. Quick, elevator music, go! And while you do that, I'm gonna run and pee. Jesus Christ. Why'd I drink the giant cup of coffee? So how's Chino looking? Well, this is all going on.
Chino has turned around, walked over, and has started putting his clothes back on.
And even with the feral growling, it's not even gonna phase him, is it?
Nope. 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 He found out what he needed to find out. He's good.
What I'd give for points in intimidation right now.
You want to borrow some of Chino's 14 dice?
Mm-hmm. Can I borrow them just for one
Okay.
roll? You can have them back.
Sorry about that.
It's all good. I took advantage of your absence.
What'd you do?
I ran to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, he is abruptly holding a giant paw with claws and seeing all the teeth and gum. And there's a thick growl. She is bristling from end to end.
Alrighty. I'm going to look up something.
That seems wise.
Alrighty, I am rolling 3. Activating a gift. And my roll is 6 dice. And that is a botch. So I'm going to have to do a rite of contrition later.
Oh no. Oh no.
But moving forward, does Maeve know the rite of contrition?
She does.
Okay, so okay. God bless America. That's an intimidation check.
So does that mean Garrett goes, "Fear me"?
Hey, he's just giving her a look.
Oh, for the love of fuck. But I don't botch.
Yeah, so I guess that's a successful intimidate.
Yeah, actually. So, assuming he will let her paw go, she'll actually backpedal a bit, but she's still going to maintain a threat pose.
Well, like if she shirks any, then yeah, he'll let go.
Yep, she will be trying to backpedal a bit, and she'll still kind of get into something of a half-ish crouch, bristled end to end, baring teeth, growling audibly.
And he'll be looking at her, and he'll just point a finger down.
I mean, I guess success is success, and it doesn't matter by how many points, does it?
On an intimidate? No.
Yeah. So she'll hunker, but again, will maintain a threat pose while she kind of sinks down.
And he's gonna turn his eyes to Chino. She's in a hell of a state right now.
Now you notice Chino has walked over and he's become dressed again. He's kind of standing there with his hands in his pockets. Do you think?
I know. And he
Yeah.
holds up his palm and he says, "There's a time she'd have been elated if I put a hand on her shoulder."
Hmm. He kind of snorts, reaches down, picks up his beer, turns, and starts walking back towards the cub cabins.
Then Garrett looks back to Maeve.
In the meantime, assuming there's a reasonable little bit of distance between them, she'll be slowly smoothing out a little bit. But she's still visibly agitated. Not as outrageously aggressive, but definitely agitated.
Garrett's gonna drop down to where he's squatting, and his arms rest on his knees, and he's looking at her, and his expression softens a little bit.
She's mostly put away her teeth. There's a slight twitch of lip, but
It's over.
she'll snort into the snow. Finally, grudgingly, roll herself over.
On the wind from the direction of the cub cabins, you can hear a drunken Hispanic voice softly singing a narco corrido as he walks towards the end there, and you kind of lose sight of him as he disappears between a couple of cabins.
You gonna level with me?
She'll roll back up into a sit. Kind of look at her own muzzle. What do you want?
Want to apologize for doing that. I know you don't want to be touched.
She kind of heaves a snorting sound.
But I had to prove a point.
She'll look off after Chino. Kind of look back to Garrett. Do you think you proved the point you were planning to?
He shrugs.
You know, I was worried. No, I'm not.
Worried about what?
And she shakes her head to clear it a bit. Finally makes the shift back across. If I can find my shit. Whew. So yeah, she'll finally pop back across and kind of brush herself up off as she gets up out of the snow. Well, what I lack in confidence, I'm about to make up for in twitchiness.
OOC, I'm trying to process that statement.
Essentially, she may not before, like, she might have backed down before. And with her normal behavior, she would normally back down from challenges.
Okay.
As she is now, not gonna happen. The way she talked to Chino never would have happened normally.
Gotcha. So you're more aggressive.
And she'll make a broad circle to do it, but start back towards the coat. It's what matters in wolf home, isn't it?
No, not aggression. Instinct. And if your every instinct is to be aggressive, that's not good.
My every instinct is not to be aggressive. I didn't flip shit until you did what I told you not to do. Until you did the thing that I told you would set me off. If anything, I'm more alert now. And if someone wants to play stupid games and challenge when it's the difference between us surviving or not surviving, I can back them down now, or at least try. I may not have the strength for the follow-through I could hope for, but at least I'll have the nerve. She doesn't necessarily look pleased with it, but she does look fairly resolved. Oh, go ahead. Do that.
My goodness.
Oh, look at that poker face.
Yeah. He'll probably catch the resolve more than anything. I mean, again, she doesn't necessarily look happy, but she looks like she's resolving herself to her situation.
And what if you're wounded? You need to be dragged. You're going to snap at well, I guess I should say the jaws that try to save your life?
I probably will, but we already talked about it.
Then don't view this as a blessing.
I don't. But if it's the difference between dragging me along and slowing the rest of them down so they die and me getting left behind, that's the way it has to be. I'm not going to kill everyone else, and I'm not going to let anyone else kill everyone else.
He holds up his hand, and he points to his palm.
She blinks, tilts her head a little bit.
This was all it took. To divert you from the threat that was staring at you in the face, challenging you.
He was challenging my dominance. You did what you knew I'd consider a threat. Which one was more important?
That's my point, Maeve. You can't tell what a real threat is anymore.
She kind of snorts. Tugs the sunglasses out of the pocket. Just handles them for the moment. I told you before.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
I was worried about you going to Wolf Home before. Now I'm terrified.
You're not the only one. But they're not going to wait for me to feel better to send us out. It's already been longer than I thought we'd have.
You better make sure everyone knows.
She takes up a thoughtful sort of expression, actually. which is probably not the result he was looking for.
How about 5 this time? Urgh.
Much better. And she's not trying to hide it. But she's obviously churning around the consequences of saying, things scare me, versus having an edge.
You need to be honest with yourself and honest with your fellow cubs.
Most of them know already. And if the rest haven't figured it out by the time we're there, I'll be deeply surprised.
And the Den Father?
He was the one who had to watch me stand there and shake in shock after it happened. He was the one who had to hold me down so they could put sigils on me. He knows.
Okay.
And she'll finally kind of sulkily, almost, stick the sunglasses back on. Though he could probably catch that she's kind of raising her shoulders a little bit, lifting the collar of the trench up over to cover the back of her neck.
Garrett will go and take the seat he once had. And if you want, you can P&E him.
I always P&E. Always. I don't always do a good job, but I always P&E. I guess technically it has to be the biggest one. So it's still 4.
As he takes his seat and he reaches into his pocket and refreshes his hand with another cigarette, you actually see that he regrets that he did that, but he also feels that he had to.
And she stands there, and she waffles. Nope. And while she looks tempted to speak, and has pretty blatant regret on her features, she'll finally kind of carefully start back towards a different section of the tree line.
As she's leaving, Garrett will say, Maeve.
Whips around.
I fucked up again. Could use your help.
She hesitates. And at least, doesn't keep walking.
Rite of contrition, you know it?
Yeah.
Kinda need one.
Oh, willpower. Oh, thank God. Oh, thank God. She'll have to visibly take a moment to settle herself down. But once she has, she'll finally start back in his direction.
Garrett has a slight grin on his face.
And I need to look up real fast how that right looks. And I need to do it on Mozilla because it has my links. Here.
Let me see if I can find it faster in the book. Ratio.
Okay. Rite of Contrition.
Charisma Rituals difficulty 7.
Yep. Which spirit?
I'm getting there. Ancestor spirit.
She'll pull out her little compact. Do you have something to offer?
You know me, I'm no expert on this matter. All I got is a little bit of spirit juice.
That'll work. And she'll kind of toss him the compact.
He'll use it and take his time and step sideways.
And she will wait for him to do so, go and retrieve the compact, take a couple steps from where he shifted over, and do the same herself. And once they're there, and she's glowing, she's going to look intently at him and say, "Stay in front of me."
He puts both hands up. He's like, oh, yeah, nods. Mm-hmm.
And she will go through the process. Charisma rituals. And I love you, but I only have 2 willpower, so I'm not spending 1. Thankfully, it wasn't necessary. So she'll go through the process. Probably have him shift lupus because it's easier to convey the contrition through wolf body language. And he gets to do things like belly along the ground and then go belly up. She'll probably, in fact, yeah. So she'll have him do that and then offer up a point of gnosis, and hoobity joobity will eventually complete the rite.
And you will see that he quickly obeys every command you give. He's not screwing around with this.
This is a good thing. And it reasserts a little of her confidence in the situation, drives away just a touch of the paranoia. Just a touch. And once it's over, she'll make some grandiose gesture. And then just kind of gesture him like, you can get up now.
And with that, he will and shift back to his breed. Thank you, Maeve.
The worst part is, I know I still like you. And I want to trust you. I've always trusted you. But it's a lot harder now. Please don't sneak up on me anymore. Not until I get over this.
He nods.
And she'll purse her lips, but this time standing closer will actually offer to hand him the compact so he can slip back across, instead of throwing it from a distance.
And he says, he actually waves away. He says, no, I'll just take a little bit extra time.
And she'll nod a little and back up about a half step and flick it open to take her time. And in practically no time, because they're on the Sept, she'll slip across, pitch it back in her pocket. Take a good glance around for climbing areas, because, well, it's about the closest thing to hiding under the cover she's got. How many things look up? And she'll probably pick out, she'll actually pick out a tree fairly close to the girls' cabin and be en route to it, or on it by time Garrett slips over, probably.
That was the point. Give her time to make a getaway.
She figured. So yeah, she will very possibly do something stupid. Let's see how well she pulls it off. Let's see whether she succeeds in her goal. Whew. Actually, yeah. So it takes a bit of climbing and a bit of shuffling, and she's still paranoid and careful, but she will eventually end up on the roof of the girls' cabin, wrapped up in the trench coat, and seem intent on settling in there, which I imagine he'd probably notice. He's going to get across before she gets all the way up there.
Garrett leaves her alone. Even if he hears her moving and knows it's her, he's not even going to look up there. He's just going to get ready to go on patrol because it's about that time for him.
Oh boy. Any final actions? Would Chino like to sing? What's going on?
Chino has made his way to the cabin, so he is no longer in earshot or eyeshot.
Hey, for all I know, he was being loud enough to keep everyone in the area awake. But very well. Then on that somber kind of note, I will say thank you, players, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching. And we will see you next time on another episode of Angst Across New York.